Alright folks, how you doing? WrestleTrueResults303.com. Check out the website. Link in the description box. Related videos coming at you today. Mind, body, spirit, fitness. This is going to be spiritual, my church journal. This is going to be from the 28th of June to July 4th, the 4th of July. So June 28th, this one for our church, we just had a baptism of a baby girl, so we were welcoming her to the Catholic faith, to the Catholic Church. And then there was no homily spoken. And for the homily, we just ourselves renewed our baptismal vows as a church. So all together, we renewed our baptism vows. So on the 29th, this one, I actually was on a date with a girl. We went to noon mass. And this was, blessed are those who take refuge in him. We are all one body in Christ, and we are all different. Love and share your differences with all. That's what it's truly about. We are one body. We are one body in Christ. We all are different. Let's not hate on our differences. Let's see what we can do to fine-tune our differences to be able to express ourselves to others, because we are God's greatest gift to those around us. We are the greatest gift, right? So June 30th, this one was, I was not able to make it to church as well. And this was a St. Augustine sermon. And if I remember correctly, he was alive in the year 300, middle 300s to late 300s. And this one says, "And so, my brothers, our concern should be not only that we have a good conscience, but also, so far as we can, in our weakness, so far as we can, govern our frailty, to do nothing which might lead our weakened brothers into thinking evil of us. Otherwise, as we feed on good pasture and drink the pure water, we may trample on God's meadows, and weaker sheep will have to feed on trampled grass and drink from troubled waters." So it's the same thing. No matter how close we are with God, how great our spiritual journey is going, we must always make sure that we are helping those around us and in some way, shape, or form guiding those in the right direction, so that when they actually decide to join the spiritual journey, join the church, they don't find that the grass has been trampled and the waters are troubled, because then they are going to have difficulty finding that inner peace and that love with God. And I have a video, hopefully you'll check it out. I'll try to link it in the description box, on why people don't want to be Christians, and how it is kind of our fault as Christians that a lot of people don't want to join us in the beauty of following Jesus and finding God. Next is going to be July 1st. This was on an app. I didn't make it in on that day as well. And this was just a prayer at the end of their app. And it said, "In prayer, more is obtained by sighs than by speech, more by tears than by words. The more loyal our faith, the stronger our hope, and the more ardent our desire, so much more shall we receive." So this is just talking about the troubles in life and how great things come from troubles in life. You know, if you're going through something bad right now, good is just around the corner. We've just got to be able to, to calm the storm and stick it out, and then we will get the reward later, whatever that reward might be. And it's probably not going to be what we think, because what we want and what God is going to give us is usually two different things. But God always knows what's best for us, and we will find peace. Next one is going to be July 2nd. I made it to church on this day. This one is going to be, "God forgives all sin. Go and walk with him." And this just talks about following God's plan, whether we think it's right or not. And the reading was Abraham and Isaac. And when Abraham is going to sacrifice his son Isaac because God told him to, it talks about how Isaac carried his own wood. So this means that he wasn't an infant, and it was just forced upon him. If he was able to carry his own wood, sorry, I'm spitting there. If he was able to carry his own wood up to the top of this mountain, he at least was a young man, maybe in his teens, 16, 17, could have been in his early 20s. He carried his own wood. He willingly laid down on the wood and let his dad tie him to the wood. And then he asked Abraham, "Where is the lamb?" for sacrifice. And he said God will provide. All of a sudden the lamb appeared. Same thing with Jesus. He followed God's plan, which was crucifixion, even though it says at one time in one of the Gospels that, he went and prayed and told God, let this pass me over, but if it is your will, I will do it. So we must follow God's plan, whether we see it as being right or wrong, and in the long run, it will help us. Next is July 3rd. This one I didn't make it to church. I was just reading. And this is, blessed are those who have not seen, but have believed. And this is where it talks about Thomas. After Jesus had appeared to the disciples, Thomas had not seen him. So he said, I will not believe unless I can feel put my hands into his wounds on his hands and in his rib. And he didn't believe until he actually saw that. And the priest showed that, or at least talked about how just the pain and suffering in the world is the pain and suffering that God has, because when we suffer, God suffers. When God sees us down here not doing what we are supposed to do, following his plan, God is in pain. And we are hurting God when we are doing that. So we are always around God's pain at all time. But the big question is what are we doing to help solve the issue? What are we doing to solve the problem? Let's not be a part of the problem. Let's be the solution. And then 7-4 was living July 4th was living a life of and in Christ is the gift of true freedom, because following God will get us out of that sinful nature and will prevent us from causing harm to ourselves, which unfortunately is what we do a lot of in some of the poor decisions that we make in life. And if we follow the life and the teaching of Jesus, we will have true freedom if we are willing to let our own desires and sacrifice our life to Jesus and to God and live that will. So once again, I hope that helps. That was my weekly journal. I know this is coming out late, but I hope it helps you. So once again, subscribe to the channel, share and like these videos.